Jai Shri Ram. The 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is called Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogaha, Trayodashodhyayaha, 34 shlokas. If the first question of Arjuna is not included, in some Bhagavad Gitas, the first question, the first shloka is a question asked by Arjuna, and if that is included, such a Bhagavad Gita will have 701 shlokas. When you don't include this, then it becomes 700. Okay. So we are not including that question because it is in a way redundant. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramityabhidiyate Etadyo Vetitam Prahu Kshetrajna iti Tadvidaha. O Scion of Bharata. Scion, S-C-I-O-N. Scion means a descendant of a great king, a king or some pedigreed family. Pedigreed gotrams are also there, important like Vishwamitra, Kashyapa, Bharadwaja. These are all pedigreed gotrams. So pedigreed means highly distinguished descent. Okay. O Scion of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. And to understand this body and its knower is knowledge. That's my opinion. So Krishna actually said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidiyate etadyo vetitam prahu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata kshetrajna yor jnanam yattad jnanam matam mama. Then 13.4, Krishna says, now please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, when it was produced, and who that knower of the field of activities is, and what his influences are. Tatre tatkshetram yaccha yadrukcha yadvikari yataschayat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrunu. 13.4 now. 13.4, Krishna is saying that knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of the activities is described by various rishis in various Vedic writings. And it is also especially presented in the Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning as to cause and effect. Rishibhir Bahuda Gitam Chandobhir Vividaih Prutak Brahma Sutra Padaischaiva Hetu Madbhir Visishyate. 13.6 now, 6 and 7 together. The 5 great elements, Ahankara, intelligence. See, Ahankara is not translatable. Ahankara, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses and the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, and the life symptoms and convictions, all these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. Mahabhutanyahankaro buddhir avyaktamevacha indriyani dashaikancha panchachindriya gocharaha ichhadvesha sukham dukkham sanghatas chetana dhrutihi etat kshetram samasena savikaram udahrutam. Now 7, 8 and 12. Humility, lacking pride, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, internal, external, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, and the perception of evil in birth, death, old age, disease, detachment, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with the family, children, wife, home and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be, is ignorance. Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham sthiryam atma vinigraha indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankarameva janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarshanam asaktiranabhishvanga putradara grihadishu nityancha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu मयिचा अन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा. The rest is all ignorance. Next, I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me. Krishna is clearly telling you that it is Brahman, the formless God, is subordinate to him, and he lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Nyayam yattat pravakshami yajnatva amrutamashnuti anadi matparam brahma nasad uchyate. And next is 13, 14. Everywhere are his hands and legs, eyes, head, face. His ears are everywhere. In this way, the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, Brahman, that is myself in the formless aspect, pervading everything. सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतो शिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वम् आवृत्य तिष्ठति. Next, 15. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached. Although he is the maintainer of all living beings, he transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time he is the master of all the modes of material nature. सर्वेन्द्रिय गुणाभासम सर्वेन्द्रिय विवर्जितम असक्तम सर्वभृच्छैव निर्गुणम गुणभोक्तृचा. 13, 16. The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all living beings, the moving and the non-moving. Because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. बहिरंतश्च भूतानाम अचरम चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तद् विज्ञेयम दूरस्थम चान्तिके च तत्. And 13, 16. अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितं भूतभर्तृ च तज्ञेयम Grasishnu Prabhavishnucha. The Supreme, although the Super Soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is the maintainer of all living entities, it is to be understood that he devours and envelops all. 18. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifest. He is knowledge, he is the object of knowledge, he is the goal of knowledge, he is situated in everyone's heart. Okay? Iti kshetram jyotishamapi tad jyotish tamasah param uchyate jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitam. 1318 now. Thus the field of activity is the body, knowledge and knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. So, iti kshetram tatha jnanam jneyam choktam samasadaha madbhakta etad vijnaya Madbhava yopapadyate. Madbhava yopapadyate. Next, material nature or prakritim purusham chaiva vidya anadhi ubhavapi. Vikaranscha gunanscha vidhi prakriti sambhavan. Thus, the material nature and living entities should be understood to be beginningless. That means Jivatma, Paramatma, and Prakriti are all beginningless. So, 13:19 is a very important shloka where Krishna is telling us that he did not create us, because had he created us, we would be perfect. Had he created us in his image also, we would have been perfect. We have not been created by Krishna. We are beginningless along with Krishna. There are three things which are beginningless, eternal: Prakriti, Jivatma, and Paramatma. That's it. Okay, the next one. So 13:19 is material nature and Jivatmas should be understood as beginningless. Their transformations in the modes of matter are products of material nature, that is Prakriti. 13:21 now. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. The shloka is कार्यकारण कर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृति रुच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतु रुच्यते. Now 13:21 nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments. Okay, that's over. 13:22. So there is a mismatch here in this. Okay, 13:20. The living entity is in material nature, thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. Upadrashta Purushah prakrutistho hi bhunkte prakrutijan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasadyonini janmasu. 13:23 now. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and the permitter, and who is the Paramatma, Purushottama. Upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwarah paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin Paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushah paraha. Dehesmin purushah paraha. Next, 13:23. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Ya evam vetti purusham prakrutim cha gunai saha sarvadha vartamanopi nasa bhuyopi jhayate. Nasa bhuyopi jhayate. Next, some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without any selfish desires. Jnanena atmani pashyanti kechidatmanam atmana anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. Next is 13:25. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in adhyatmika knowledge, spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of this tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. Anye tveva majanantah श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेपि चाति तरन्त्येव मृत्युं श्रुतिपरायणाः. Okay, 13:27. Okay, 26 and 27 here. O chief among the Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. Yavat यावत् संजायते किंचित सत्वं स्थावर जंगमम क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञ संयोगात् तद्विद्धि भरतर्षवा. Okay. Then 1328, one who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies. So if you can see Krishna along with the Jivatma, so that means the Radham is situated in your heart. Your heart is the Radham, and Arjuna and Krishna are both there. Arjuna is you and Krishna is Krishna. Can you see Arjuna and Krishna in all? One. So this shloka is very, very important. 1328 in some, 1327 in some. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsa vinashyantam yah pashyati sapashyati. Okay. One who sees the super soul, Krishna himself, accompanying the Jivatma in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed, actually sees. Okay. Then 1329, one who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination. Okay. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram nahinasthyatmanatmanam tato yati parangati. So don't degrade yourself by treating others as inferior. Here there is no need for any caste arrogance, and first of all, caste doesn't exist in Hinduism. So Krishna is clearly telling you, never degrade yourself by trying to condescend to anybody. No question of condescension toward anybody. All are equal, because in all Krishna is there. In fact, all living, non-living also Krishna is there. And in the living you will find that Krishna and the Jivatma are together there. They are seated in the Ratha of the heart. Next, 1329, 30. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body which is created of the Prakriti, and sees that the self does nothing, he actually sees. Prakrutyaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashah yah pashyati tadatmanam akartaram sapashyati. Okay. Next, 1331. Okay. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. Yada bhuta prutak bhavam ekastham anupashyati tadeva cha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. Next, 31. Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. The imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature, beyond Prakriti. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the Jivatma neither does anything nor is entangled. In fact, the Paramatma is also not. Amazing, isn't it? 32. The slokam is Anaditvan nirgunatvan paramatmayam avyayah sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Next, 1333. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul is situated in Brahman vision. That soul which is situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body, in the body. Yadha sarvagatam saukshmyat akasham nopalipyate sarvatra vastito dehe tadatma nopalipyate. Okay. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates this entire system, solar system, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body of consciousness. So, yadha prakashayatyeka krutznam lokamimam ravihi. Yadha prakashayatyeka krutznam lokamimam ravihi. Kshetram kshetri tada krutznam prakashayati bharata. And finally 13, 34, in some 35, in some. Those who see with the eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attain to the supreme goal. Kshetra kshetrajnayor evam antaram jnana chakshushaha bhuta prakriti mokshancha ye vidur yantite param. इति श्रीमद् भगवद गीता उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां योग शास्त्रे श्री कृष्णार्जुन संवादे क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञ विभाग योगो नाम त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः. जय श्री राम.